Hello and welcome to At the Leadership Table with retired Major General Jim Hoyer. Oftentimes people hear the word leader and they think only of political leaders, but leaders come in many forms, and that's worth exploring. I'm Jim Hoyer, born and raised in West Virginia, a husband, a father, a new grandfather, and a retired military leader, serving for over 40 years in public leadership for our state and nation. Now, the most important mission I have going forward is to educate, motivate, and empower our next generation of leaders. At the leadership table with me today is Sarah Fox. Sarah is an Air Force veteran and current director of fundraising and marketing for Scouting America's Mountaineer Area Council, headquartered in Fairmont, and that has expanded. So we'll talk a little bit about the council and its growth as we go forward. But Sarah, thank you, number one, for your military service, and thank you for joining us at the leadership table today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we're going to start out by asking you the same first question that we ask all of our guests. Please share with us a standout moment when you learned something really important about leadership.
Well, it had to be when I was first in the Air Force. I was in my clinical rotation at Shepherd Air Force Base, brand new out of basic training, learning my job as a medic, which was what I was to be, and working on a med-surg floor. I had a doctor putting a central line in a patient that had had a stroke. And she was, of course, involuntarily making a sound and kind of rocking as he was working with her. And this officer, who I, had just graduated basic training, so he was a god to me, mocked this patient. And it broke my heart. And I just thought, you are teaching brand new medics that you are going to send out here to treat patients. And that's the example that you set, right? So I just told myself right then, everyone is always watching and learning. Mm-hmm. So act accordingly. And
sometimes we learn how to be better leaders from bad leaders.
I mean, that is very true, yes.
And we've both experienced both positive leadership and negative leadership.
Yes, and much more
military
positive.
Service.
Much more positive.
Much more positive. Yeah. Almost all positive, I think we could probably both agree.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
So tell us about how you got from basic training in the Air Force to a medic to Scouting America in Fairmont, West Virginia.
Well, I mean, it's quite a story. I'll give you the Reader's Digest of it. So I left active duty after about 11 years. I went into the reserves because I was married to an Air Force officer at that point. Mm-hmm. We were both very deployable, so wanted to have children. So I went into the reserves. I quickly learned that I did not want to be a stay-at-home mother. I loved my children, loved being able to be with them, but working for me was a sense of purpose, and so I did continue working in the civilian market. We were in North Carolina at the time. I worked for a software company. And then the latest orders we got as a married couple was to Dayton, Ohio. Mm-hmm. And I took a temporary job actually because we had been there for a while. I had left, I was still working remotely in the North Carolina company. And then left that position. We were expecting to get orders any time. So I saw a temporary position at Wittenberg University to work for the vice president of development. I took that role. They had no vice president there. So I had that opportunity to kind of learn all of the jobs of a development mm-hmm. office, and I loved it. I loved the university, of course, but I also loved the concept of fundraising, building relationships, finding connections with people and what they want to give their money to. I mean, asking someone to give their money away is not easy to do. So I just fell in love with the career field. Fast forward, I went on to met someone after my divorce, moved here to Buckhannon, took a year off just to get my girls settled and kind of adjusted to our new normal. Went to work for West Virginia Wesleyan for about 18 months. left that position and just in May started here at Scouting America. Now, only having higher education fundraising experience and going into Scouts was quite a bit, but I'm learning it quickly, and it's serving youth is a great thing to do.
And building the next generation of leaders, right?
Yes, and teaching. I mean, the things that Scouting is teaching these kids is just, if we need it more than ever today. So I'm so glad to be a part of it.
So for those who aren't familiar, tell us a little bit about Scouting America and specifically the Mountaineer Area Council, which has expanded here in the last 18 months.
Greatly, more than doubled. So Scouting America is what's formerly known as Boy Scouts of America. And though they've let girls join Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts since 2019, I believe, they've just rebranded to seem more inclusive with the name. I like it. I think it fits. And soon I think it'll just become another just as normal as saying Boy Scouts. Mm-hmm. And then this council was 12 counties before, and then recently, about a year, merged with what was once the Ohio River Valley Council. Now it is the Ohio River Valley District merged with us, and we are 22 counties now. So serving quite the population, about 2,600 youth.
And a couple counties in Ohio as well,
yes,
correct?
Yes, we do. I can't name them.
Yeah.
I've got them on a list, though. But we do, yeah.
So for folks that come out of the military, some folks go into career fields that kind of match with what they have done in the military. Other folks go a completely different direction. But I think we all take life lessons from our military experience that we apply to whatever we do career going forward. Can you give us just some examples of things that you took from your military experience and training that have served you in your change of career going into philanthropy?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think there's so many lessons that you learn in the military, no matter what your job is. The fundamentals of attention to detail, the core values of service are just something that sticks with you. And then learning to just adapt to different environments, different situations. I came out of the military knowing I didn't want to stay in, I didn't want to continue in the medical field. Mm-hmm. I loved it. I'm glad that I did it, but it just wasn't for me long term. But I felt like I could do anything. I can look at any situation, any organization, find shortfalls and problems with new eyes. Sometimes when you're in, an organization is operating for a long time, someone new comes in that has really nothing to do with that. You can really, using those core skills that you learn in the military, you can find ways to make improvements. And I've just, followed my passion in finding work, of course, I think it's very important to love what you do. I have loved what I've been doing, but then just taking those fundamental values and lessons and applying them to anything you do. They're universal.
One of the things that we try to focus on at the leadership table is building that next generation of leaders, and it's become even more important for me. I think as 18 months ago we had our first grandchild, and now you really think about it's not just your legacy you're leaving for your kids, but for your grandkids. But you had done an interview where you talked about how you viewed your role as a mentor in the Air Force as focusing on those that you mentored were the legacy, the next generation.
Yes, a legacy of me.
So talk a little bit about how that became important to you, creating the next generation of leaders.
I just saw, I saw several different types of leadership. I personally had amazing mentors and leaders in the Air Force, but I saw some that just were not teaching the full gamut of what, it was almost like they would hold back a little something to keep an edge on their troops. And I just thought, wow, this airman is going to go on, you're going to go on and do another job, they're going to go on and do another job. And where they go, you're on all of their paperwork. Your name is right there. So you want a high performer, somebody that's a standout. I always told my troops, I want you to be better at this job than I am, because I'm going to leave and you're going to have to do it. And I don't want everybody to think that I raised a punk. Like, and I have so many troops that went on to be officers, and I'm so proud of them. And the people that were around them 5 years later, of course, didn't know my name except for a piece of paper, but I'd follow their careers on Facebook and just be immensely proud of the growth and development that they achieved.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things, I think you would agree, that has allowed the military to continue in good times and bad times, and lots of deployments and all those things, is there is a culture that we're always building the next generation of leaders.
Yes.
And you don't always see that in the private sector.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember being, several years into my career, and like one of my things, I worked on the night ambulance crew, and so we would prepare the medical records for the next day's appointments. And I started to see active duty people that were born like 1990. And I was like, they're old enough to be, and time just goes. And then before you know it, kids that were kids when you went in are coming up, and they're going to be the leaders, and they're, for the most part, wonderful people.
Yeah, and I think from your answer, I think the thing that stood out to me is that demonstrates your level of leadership and commitment to leadership is you always wanted those that you led to be better at leading and at the job than you were.
Yes.
And I think that's what good leaders need to strive for.
I agree. Thank you.
So you are a member of an organization, Philanthropic Education Organization, Chapter A in Buchanan. Tell us a little bit about that organization and how it's impacted your development in the area of philanthropy.
Well, so I met a lady that was a part of, it's called PEO, we call it for short. I met her. She was telling me about it. They were preparing for a fundraising fashion show. And I just thought it was so exciting. And it was like a little sorority kind of. And I didn't go to, traditional college. I went to college, but during the Air Force. So I thought, that'd be so fun. And I call it very lovingly my little old lady gang, because it is a lot of, ladies that are retired or, and they raise money to send women to college, whether it be Cotty College, which is affiliated with PEO. Mm-hmm. It's in Nevada. It's an all-women's school. Mm-hmm. Or just scholarships to go wherever they might be going in their journey. And it's, women going back to school, girls starting out, getting, full scholarships. And it's just nice to be around strong women making other women successful and supporting them, encouraging them, helping them find a way when sometimes, we just had the international convention in Phoenix, and this woman stood up and was talking about her scholarship opportunity that she had gotten through PEO, and she had been in recovery, and just all of these really tall challenges that she was able to overcome, and so proud to be a part of that.
So Scouts and Scouting is so involved in building the next generation of leaders in communities, but also actively on a regular basis out there helping people in communities. And as we get past this government shutdown and into the holiday seasons, talk a little bit about the significance of Mountaineer Area Council and some of the volunteer work that Scouts are doing to help people in the community during the holiday season.
I mean, they're everywhere. They really are. I don't even know all of the things that they're doing, but I know they're working in food banks. There's Scouts that are working on their Eagle project, service projects that they come up with themselves, and they see it through to the end. Just everywhere that there's community service going on, I can assure you there is a Scout somewhere around, mm-hmm. and it's great to see. I mean, I've never seen so many young motivated, helpful. Their moral compass is, just exactly where it should be, and they're working hard and they're earning these badges. It's a great organization to be a part of, even though I'm not down in the trenches with, with the kids, but I'd love to see them this summer. I had just started in May and went to camp where they started their 6 weeks of different groups coming into camp, and they're so excited and they're just ready to go, ready to earn their badges and to have fun with their friends, love being there. It's a remarkable organization.
So if a listener wants to either become a volunteer with Scouting and the Mountaineer Area Council, or potentially even donate to help the council, how do they reach out and get in touch with you?
So we have our office number, which I'm sure you will put into the show notes, but also, you can find our website at mountaineerscouting.org that you can give there. You can find a troop there. So visit, or you can call our office and talk to somebody. But Scouting America, and then if you search Mountaineer Area Council, you will find our council. You can call. We have volunteers and troops in all the counties, and get our adult leaders registered. Everyone has to be registered as an adult, and then this organization is run by volunteers. I mean, we have 9 staff members for 22 counties, so you have to know that there's a huge volunteer force, and parents just doing the most. So, we have troops everywhere that we can.
Very good.
We can connect people with.
Very good. Well, Sarah, again, thank you, number one, for your service to our country, and for also being a military spouse as well, which I think is probably the most challenging job in the country. If you really want to look at it from all that families deal with related to their service members' activities and work. And also thank you for being in West Virginia and helping to grow the next generation of leaders through the Mountaineer Area Council and other work that you do. And I think the last thing, as I go back to hone in on that comment you made, that it's about that legacy of leadership that you want to leave, but also about you want the next generation of leaders to be even better than this generation. So I thank you for that focus and that work.
Absolutely. Thank you, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
It was great to be here.
Thanks for listening. This has been At the Leadership Table with retired Major General Jim Hoyer. Did you know you can now find me on social media at RMG Hoyer? That's HOYER, or email me at rmgjameshoyer@gmail.com.